Welcome to another episode of On the Pitch. I'm Travis Chepaway.
And I am Emmanuel Palacios. Today we go into our soccer roundup, talk about the NBA Finals and some other NBA news.
I want to briefly mention some NHL, and we're going to follow along into our Smart Not Smart segment and end with the tweets of the day.
Tweets of the day. Let's start off with something that was in the news recently. Neymar is very well known in the soccer world, star player for PSG. He's getting ready for Copa America in Brazil, and he has lost his captaincy.
He has.
He's lost his captaincy. It has been given to Dani Alves, who plays for the same team, Paris Saint-Germain. So that's pretty shocking to me. But I want to hear your thoughts, first of all, on Neymar losing his captaincy.
I think it's honestly a bold move. Obviously, Neymar deserves it. He's a great player. Having someone like that as a captain, you really can't go wrong. Coming from personal experience, I remember back in the day when I was playing soccer, when I had the captain title stripped from me, it actually motivated me a lot because it really it pissed me off. And so I went out there with more of an aggression, more of a fire, and honestly a little bit more of a dominance. And that could possibly be what they're looking for, is just a change of atmosphere, give someone else a shot, and really just try and light that fire under Neymar's butt and just get him going.
Yeah, I mean, from what we've seen from Neymar in the Brazil jersey, he's had his moments of flashes, like brilliance. And then there's been moments where it's been horrendous. I remember in the World Cup,
absolutely,
when James Rodriguez got big. Remember, Neymar was having a good World Cup, but then he got hurt. So he had those moments where we were like, "Yo, this guy's playing well," but he's never been able to take that armband, that captain's armband, and really grasp it.
Mm-hmm.
Brazil has had Thiago Silva as captain before. Now they're going to another defender, and there's an argument to be made about the position of the position on the pitch of who should have the armband, because usually you see, on a lot of teams you see it with defenders, and you don't really see it on forwards. It's not something that, unless you're transcendent, and most of the time it's on club football, not in national team. So I think that Dani Alves is a leader on the team, and I think that this takes a lot of pressure off of Neymar, and that's something that he really needs in this moment, because he's had this season has not been good to him. He's been hurt a lot. He's been irregular on the pitch, and it's just and it's in Brazil. So Brazil and Argentina are the two teams that are expected to win these types of events. Obviously, you can put in Chile, I guess, because they have a solid team as well. But Brazil, in their home, are expected to win. It's like when they were in the World Cup and they got destroyed by Germany. Embarrassing, And I think this is a really smart move by Brazil to have Neymar get less pressure off him, hopefully play well. That's what we're expecting from him.
That's what we're hoping for. I like to watch Neymar in his prime, so hopefully he can get back to that.
There's been rumors of him going back to Barca. Do you remember when he was in Barca? That was like, as much as I hate Barca, like seeing those three, Suarez, Messi, and Neymar, like it's incredible.
It honestly is.
Like those three together were. That's when, like, Suarez and Messi now, they have their clash in some of the moments. Yeah. Suarez is just like, yo, what are you doing? Messi's obviously still one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, it's really not every day that you get players on the same team that their mindset is just, it's so aligned that they don't really have to communicate that out there on the field. They're already in each other's minds. Yeah, they know where to put the ball. They know where everyone's going to be, and just.
And that's hard to see because all these clubs, Real Madrid, Barcelona, they have the money to spend to buy stars. They get stars. And then when they actually get combined, I mean, if you look at Real Madrid this year, they have the stars, but they just didn't click at all. No chemistry whatsoever. And in Barcelona, they get guys who aren't as well known, and they somehow fit, And they had stars as well who fit. So it's a well-run organization over there. But this is the big news of the day heading into a couple months. For Copa America, Neymar loses his captaincy. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he goes out there and really just does what he's supposed to do. And so far in 35 appearances since 2010, this is competitive Brazil national team appearances. He has 19 goals.
That's pretty solid.
It's about a 54%
Yeah.
scoring. I mean, come on.
Those are numbers I would expect from Neymar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so hopefully we see more goals from him. Big Saturday. There's a huge Saturday in soccer. It's the Champions League final. Tottenham and Liverpool. Now, if you had told me that Tottenham and Liverpool were going to be in the final at the end of May, I would be like, yo, you know what? You're crazy. Because, first of all, Tottenham was in a tough group, right? They were with Barcelona, Inter, and PSV were the Dutch champions. So that's a really tough group, first of all, to get out of. And they didn't do well domestically, I would say. Mm-hmm. Tottenham is always where they're ending up is where they usually are all the time.
Exactly.
Right. Liverpool, I would believe it because Liverpool was on a tear. They were on a tear.
I was so surprised by it too.
Yeah, I mean, but Klopp is a great manager. Mm-hmm. But they still had to get by Barcelona, and they did in a completely shocking fashion. So this Saturday, Tottenham and Liverpool. Who you got?
Honestly, I kind of just have to stick with the whole Boston ties and go with Liverpool.
Okay. It's funny you say that because LeBron owns part of Liverpool.
I don't even want to comment on that.
Yeah, you know what? Look,
I'm not gonna comment on that.
I'm glad you're saying Liverpool though. I'm glad you're saying Liverpool because I'm saying I think Tottenham's gonna win.
Honestly, I normally I would say that, but I have to stick with the Boston sports right now, and just I have to.
Okay, let me tell you why I think Tottenham is gonna win. When I see Tottenham and their run so far in the Champions League, it's one of those runs where I feel like destiny is involved. It's like one of those magical runs, you know. That's the sense that I get when I watch them.
See, you gotta sell this on me. If you're using a word like destiny, you gotta sell this on me, man. Like this is like Disney princess kind of thing.
Don't talk about Disney princess. Come on, man. I'm gonna sell you on this. Let me tell you why. I was watching the semifinal, Tottenham and Manchester City, right?
Okay.
And I was like, there's no way this is not supposed to happen. Because Tottenham, first of all, City is a much better team than, I'm sorry, it wasn't the semifinals, quarterfinals against Manchester City. They played Ajax in the semifinals. But regardless, both of those were insane. But when they were playing City, I was like, this is the way that Lucas Moura scored those goals. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, this has to be what's supposed to happen. And when I think about Liverpool versus Tottenham, they've played each other before, obviously, in the Premier League. And the way that they play, their midfield on both teams is not really strong. They don't focus on. They have really great defenders, though, great fullbacks. Obviously, Liverpool's got arguably the best one, and Virgil van Dijk. But their style offensively, I love it. I love Tottenham's style offensively. I've been a little disappointed with Dele Alli, but other than that, I was like, wow. It reminds me of, okay, in football, it's kind of like the air raid, you know, like a 7 seconds or less offense, speed kills, yeah. You know, that kind of offense, where like all of a sudden, like, yo, what just happened? Mm-hmm. They scored, right? And the defenders, they're good. They're good with the ball. They go up. Great wing players as well. And even better, Harry Kane is going to be moderately healthy, you know. That's going to help a lot. So I think they're saying it's like a 28% chance or 32, something like that. 32% chance that Tottenham's going to win. Obviously, Liverpool is the overwhelming favorite. But I'm going to go with Tottenham. And I think it's going to be like 3-2. Something like that. 3-2 or 2-1. One of those two scores. But I got Tottenham.
You know what? I like that.
You better like it, man. It's just what's gonna happen, you know. I speak it into existence, and it's funny because I'm a Manchester United fan. I'm not even a Tottenham fan, but
man, get out of here with that.
I'm a Man U fan, man, and you know what? when I was watching Barcelona destroy Man U, I was like, if there's any other team that I would want to win, obviously it would have been Madrid, but they were a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
It was Tottenham. It was Tottenham. Or Ajax, because if Ajax would have won,
Yeah,
then
I remember you were going for Ajax for a minute there.
if Ajax won, then I could say, well, it's okay because we lost to the champions, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. So Tottenham, and I absolutely don't want Liverpool to win at all.
That's fair.
0 chance. No, I don't want to see Mo Salah lift the trophy. I don't want to see.
That's good. I will
Mane
smile
lift the trophy.
extra large just knowing that when Liverpool wins, you're gonna have that much more misery.
Oh wow. That's great to hear from a friend.
Always here for you, buddy.
Always, yeah, okay. So
speaking of under attack kind of thing,
yeah,
La Liga,
yeah.
they're in the news right now. Apparently, there's several top flight players that have been arrested in connection to match fixing. BBC Sport reported that police in Spain have made a string of arrests reportedly related to match fixing in the Liga and the Segunda Division. Current and retired players, as well as club executives, have been detained. Now, I think this is, it sucks to see match fixing, but it's funny because I've always suspected it in that division because I've seen certain matches where things just seem off. And international friendly games, I always stay away from because they're so unpredictable. Mm-hmm. And I actually did a little bit of reading into this, and some of the matches that they're assuming or they're saying were fixed were international friendly games as well. So
I feel like those are the games,
some dirty playing out there.
Those are the games that you can, I'm thinking from a player's perspective, like they don't matter. Those games don't matter at all.
Exactly. So if you can make some extra money and help someone else make some extra money, why not?
But you mentioned La Liga, which is an actual, that's the Spanish league, which is a Premier League in Europe. So that's a big issue.
They're top two divisions.
That's a big
La Liga
issue.
and Segunda.
Because we're talking about games that do matter at this point, right? And we've heard of match fixing in every sport, really.
Yeah.
But how many times have people actually been, cracked down on?
For this to happen, it's unknown. It's other than that.
And you're talking.
It's really only things that I've read about as far as
Yeah.
refs being shot at after matches and things like that. But this is just.
And you said that it's retired players as well. So we're talking about years. We're not talking. We're not even talking about like just this season.
Depending on who it was, who's out of the game, they might have played last year and just retired.
They retired because they knew like, oh, this info's coming out. Like we're about to get, we're going to jail. So let's retire.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, match fixing is something that, it takes away from the game. Like this is not something that you want to see ever in any sport, really.
Unless it's more widely known. I'm all for like just laying into some of these sports books and like, hey, everyone, our score today is going to be 3-2.
But what's the
We're
point
gonna
of
win.
that? What's the point of that?
Because when you bet exact scores, the odds are absurd. Absolutely absurd. You put $100 down and you're going to win like $10,000-$12,000.
But then the books are going to be like, okay, we know the score too.
That's what I'm saying. It would have to be like.
It doesn't make sense.
It would have to be put out in a certain way, but
because
then some people friendly matches, matches, I wouldn't mind it. The other stuff, it's like no, come on, like let's be real. I want competition here, but in friendly matches,
I can see your perspective as a betting man. You get me? Like as a person who does that kind of thing, as a person who tries to enjoy the game rather than like. Obviously I do bet on some games and stuff like that, but not like in some things like international friends, I can understand that. Mm-hmm. But now when you're talking about leagues,
that's what I'm saying. Like friendlies, that's okay. You get a pass. Like I don't care. But anything else, no. Let's keep it real.
Okay, I can understand that. That's the soccer roundup for today. Let's move on to the NBA Finals. Oh, well, first of all, let me say
I almost put my head through a wall trying to figure out who I thought was going to win.
No, wait. Before we even get to that, the Bucks played the Raptors.
Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go.
The Bucks played the Raptors in the Eastern Conference Finals.
They did.
Yeah. And we both said it would go 7 games. And we were wrong. It didn't go 7 games. But someone said that the Bucks were going to win. Mm-hmm. And another person said that the Raptors were going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct?
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, if I look at my notes correctly, it says that the Raptors are playing the Warriors in the finals.
You might want to read that again.
Raptors and the Warriors in the finals. So I called it. I said it. I said Kawhi is going to lead this team to the finals, and he did. He's one of the, I would say, 2 or 3 guys in the league currently who can lead a team to the finals by himself, really. And Game 1 is Thursday night in Toronto, which is important. We talked about this in the last episode. Home court advantage for the Raptors. You put up a poll on Instagram.
I did.
Raptors and Warriors. What was the overwhelming?
Overwhelming for the Warriors.
Right.
There is select few individuals here and there that went in for Toronto. I don't know if they're just doing it for fun, if they're just going for the underdog, having no idea. I don't know. I only know one of the people that did vote for the Raptors is very involved in the sports world. So, I mean, I do credit and really value their opinion there. But everyone else is the Warriors.
Was Warriors, yeah. Right. And we have to take into account that that's the team that's won championship after championship. So that's important. Should we just say who's gonna win? Because I have my take already, and the series hasn't started yet. The series hasn't started yet, so I feel like this is a perfect time to say it. And I believe that the Raptors are gonna win in 7 games.
I was waiting for that.
The Toronto Raptors will be the NBA champions in 7 games.
Honestly, I'm 100% was expecting you to say that.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Because I knew you were gonna rub it in my face that Toronto beat the Bucks.
You know me.
It is what it is. You know what? Good job. I was hoping for that Cinderella story. It didn't work out. Oh well.
I think this is a Cinderella story.
Toronto did it. Okay. But you've also been sitting here saying, like, almost every week, no, this is the end of the dynasty for Golden State.
Yep.
They're done. This is the last.
I haven't just been telling you that. I've been telling everyone.
Everybody. So it's only expected that if the Raptors and the Warriors are in the finals here, that you would go for the Raptors. I get it. So naturally, I have to oppose you.
Yeah.
And I have to go with the Warriors.
Yeah.
I mean,
go with the favorites. It's cool. That's what you do.
It's okay.
I believe in the underdog. I believe in Cinderella. I'll tell you why the Raptors are going to win.
Hold on. But wasn't the true Cinderella story the Bucks?
No.
And you went against the Bucks.
How can a number 1 seed be the true Cinderella story? How can the team who won the most games in the NBA be a Cinderella story?
Just because of where
this,
no one expected that.
No one expected the Raptors to be there.
At this point.
Exactly.
But before, you even said that it would have been a Cinderella story.
Someone has to come out of the East. We know that for sure. If you're a betting man,
as soon as LeBron's gone, Toronto comes out.
Exactly. And if you're a betting man, you see who has the most wins. I'm not gonna put my money on Cinderella, who has 57 wins. It's not necessarily the most wins. 60 wins. You picked the Bucks for a reason, because you thought that they could make it there.
I just wanted to see it happen. I told you that before. Like
you thought they could make it there.
I wanted to see it.
I would like to see.
It's even in my notes right here.
Toronto.
I don't think that the Bucks were all that tough, or were all that though. Like no matter how well they played, I don't.
You said the same thing about the Raptors as
well.
But
I wanted them to do it. I did.
I wanted Toronto to get there because I know what Kawhi can do against the Warriors, and that's what I'm going to get into as to why Toronto's going to win. Let me tell you this. This is something that people need to realize. This defense is elite. Toronto's defense is elite. They shut down Giannis in the series, and that's why they won. Mm-hmm. They shut down Giannis. And those guys, those role players in Milwaukee are good. Let's not get it twisted. They're good. Brogdon, Bledsoe, George Hill, Ilyasova had some big games. Brook Lopez. Those are guys who are good. But this team, Toronto, has Kawhi Leonard, who is a Defensive Player of the Year award winner. Marc Gasol, who, if we recall, back in the day, has a Defensive Player of the Year award as well. Serge Ibaka, who was Defensive Player, first team All Defense like 3 times, I believe. So, and then Pascal Siakam, who's the best defender on that team, and Kawhi is on that team. So they have a defense that I think is more suited to play against the Warriors than the Bucks.
Absolutely.
And they have Kawhi, who I think is a better player than Giannis when it comes to playoff time, when it comes to like grind and grit time, more clutch that you need in the playoffs. Now, I think that they just fit better. And there's no way that Toronto's going to win in 5 games. There's no way that they're going to win in 6 games because the Warriors are just too good. So if they're going to win the series, it's going to be in 7 games.
Yeah.
And having a home court helps so much because Game 7 is where? In Toronto. And I love Drake.
Well, honestly, if
So I
you
wanna
look
see
at
him
like
win.
if you look at shooting percentages and all on at home on the road, the Warriors were doing extremely well on the road compared to Toronto at home. So it I think really balances out there.
You can make okay. This is the thing.
I know what you mean, though. Like, I know what
you can
you
make
mean.
so many arguments. Deep down inside, you want the Raptors to win.
Absolutely.
You're tired of the Warriors.
I am absolutely sick of seeing the Warriors win. It's true. It's true. But right now, like, Toronto is like they dropped the 2 games. They came back strong.
Yes.
They did it. But they're
You
tired.
You can't
They're
do
tired.
that. You can't do that against the
compared to
Warriors.
Golden State right now.
You can't do that against the Warriors.
Exactly. And Golden State's gonna come. And honestly, I wanted the dynasty to be over. I just don't think Toronto has it in them to take on this Golden State team.
It's fair.
Especially with the fact that they're threatening on bringing Boogie back. They're gonna bring KD back. I
guarantee you, if
like
Toronto
they are
wins,
the monstars of the NBA, and I don't think that Kawhi has Michael's secret stuff in a water bottle to give his team to bring these guys back. I don't.
They're the Monstars.
They're the monsters.
How did
I
that
mean,
movie
come
end?
on.
How did that movie end?
That's all I gotta
remember.
say.
Can you?
That's all I gotta say.
Look, Toronto.
I'm not gonna argue if that happened. Like I would love to see it. Like I would, but I think Golden State's gonna take it. I mean, it's Golden State right now.
That's a great take. That's a great
if
take.
Steph can find his openings, Green, Iguodala,
You know what?
They all play well.
I'm following my emotions on this one. I'm legit following my emotions on this one because not only do I think that it's possible, because I do think it's possible. I really honestly, I do think it's possible. I think Toronto, I think Kawhi has something that the Warriors just can't handle.
Something
that the Warriors can't handle. So that's why I think that the Warriors are gonna succumb to the Raptors in 7 games of the NBA Finals.
That's a bold prediction.
Very bold prediction. And it's gonna happen. All right, let's move on to the NBA. Another NBA news happened today. Adrian Wojnarowski tweeted something that was pretty shocking. Apparently, Rockets GM Daryl Morey has made his entire roster and future draft picks available in trade talks. Obviously,
I like that.
This is because of where they ended in the playoffs this year. They won a championship, and they are in win-now mode.
Mm-hmm.
They're in win-now mode. So, obviously, James Harden is not going to get traded, right? That is just,
I don't see why.
There's just absolutely no way James Harden is going to get traded. But
You
two
don't get rid of the
big names that the Rockets could trade, Capella and Chris Paul, right? Capella is the guy who I think they could bring get more for.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul is a little tricky because of his huge bloated contract.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very interesting. What do you think?
What do you think LeBron thinks of that?
Oh God, I don't take this there. You know what? I saw on Twitter. I already saw trade proposals going out.
Bring CP3
Josh
in?
Hart, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo, and Brandon Ingram for Chris Paul. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna become a Rockets fan because all my guys are gonna be a freaking in Houston. And Chris Paul shouldn't have been a Laker, but back in the day, I'm over that now. I promise. Not really, but you know, there's just
I don't know. This is a bold move by Houston. I like it though. I like it. Just throw everybody
have
out
to
there
do
and
that. That's
say,
who he is.
let's see what we got. Because ultimately, this isn't saying like everybody here we're getting rid of. That's just saying
we're gonna
let us know. Like, what do you got?
They're looking at deals, and they're gonna make. I promise you, they're gonna make a deal.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna make. There's no way that they come into next year with the same team.
I would hope not. I mean,
a lot of things hinge.
I expected
also
more from them, even this past season. Like,
but that's what's supposed. Houston and Golden State was supposed to be the Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. They just met early. I mean, the actual Western Conference Finals, Portland, it was a sweep,
and it was ugly play.
Yeah, it was horrendous, sluggish, sloppy, and even though it was a 6-game series, it was very entertaining.
Yeah, but
they got to improve.
A lot of that for me was just players going and complaining about calls. I mean,
why you always bring that up? You always bring that up. You're a ref son, huh? You're a referee son.
Nah.
Yeah, you are.
Nah.
Yeah, you are. Anyways, I don't know if Chris Paul's going to get traded because I don't know who's going to trade for him, man. What team in their right mind would trade for an aging point guard with a huge contract?
With a huge contract, yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Knicks?
Knicks and the Lakers are the same team at this point. So,
I mean, if
that
the Knicks
scares me.
pulled
That
for
literally-
KD and...
it really petrifies me. I am honestly telling you, it petrifies me. But that'll be interesting to see. So the Rockets, expect some moves from the Rockets. This summer is gonna be crazy in the NBA.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be really,
Should be
really
a fun
crazy.
one.
All right, let's move on.
All right, so real quick, touching on some NHL because the NHL playoffs are going on right now, and
The Stanley Cup Finals are going on right now.
yeah, we haven't talked about this
Yeah.
enough.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you though. Hockey is great, but I don't follow it as much as I should. Not gonna lie. Probably because my Kings are out, but
You know what? It's very, very sad to see the Kings not in the finals as well
not even in
as
the playoffs.
well, anything,
Yeah.
because I was moving on already to my Golden Knights.
Oh, okay. They suck this year too.
Not as much.
They made the playoffs, but they didn't.
They didn't pull through.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Bruins are in the Stanley Cup Finals right now, playing the St. Louis Blues.
Right.
I really have to bring up this hit by Torrey Krug. He lost his helmet, right? There's a scuffle with a Blues player, Perrin. There's a little scuffle. Krug's on the ice, loses his helmet. Perrin skates away. Krug gets up, and he starts going towards him like he's going to start a little something. But instead, he looks over. He sees that play is still going. He sees where the puck's about to be, and he says, I'm going to go to it. And as he's going over there, I don't know why I'm running, he's skating over, a guy named Robert Thomas from the St. Louis Blues was approaching the puck. Now, he got absolutely flattened.
Oh yeah, he got hit.
Absolutely
without
flattened.
Without a helmet.
Without a helmet. Krug left the ice, left his skates completely piled through Robert Thomas, and Boston went crazy. It went nuts. It was great. That right there, I think, is a major defining moment in this entire playoffs. That right there just set the tone. It just set the momentum. The Bruins won. I know it's only game one. I know they're playing again, I think, tonight, Wednesday night, but they won. 2019 Stanley Cup winners, Boston Bruins. You heard it here.
Just because you said that, I'm going with St. Louis.
Same losers, man.
I'm
They're
going to
losing.
go with the Blues. I'm going to go with the Blues.
They're going to have
I
the Blues.
know absolutely no one on that team, but except for the guys you just mentioned. But I believe in them regardless, and they're going to win. Calling it right now, 7 games. St. Louis Blues. All right. We're going to wrap up today's episode, but first we got to get to our closing segments. Let's start off with tweets, or should we start off with smart, not smart? Let's go with smart, not smart.
Let's do smart, not smart.
Okay. So smart, not smart, we have one thing going on. Big, I think this is major for the future.
Yeah.
For the future, this is pretty major. R.J. Hampton was supposed to decide what college he was going to attend. And he went on Get Up on ESPN to announce where he was going to go. There was rumors that this would happen. I personally did not believe it because he had premier colleges on his list, Memphis and Kansas, and among others, that he could have chose from to go to school there, obviously.
Yeah.
And R.J. Hampton, high school basketball player, says he's going to go play overseas in New Zealand instead of going to college.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this reminds me a little bit of what happened, I think, to the Braves pitcher, Carter Stewart, I think his name was, who went and signed in Japan instead of going to the draft the second time. The Braves didn't sign him. For the first time, he went back to junior college, and he ended up in Japan getting paid $7 million over 6 years instead of going straight to the minors, which is a power move. Is this a power move?
I think this goes way beyond a power move. This goes deep. right here. And the reason I say that is I think everybody at this point knows that NCAA players are absolutely taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty sure you just wrote an article about that.
I did write an article about it. Yeah.
We'll have to go ahead and put that link down there.
Yeah, put that link down there.
We'll
It's a very good one, not going to lie. But, yeah, smart, not smart by R.J. Hampton.
I think it's genius. Genius. Because not only is he allowing himself the possibility to go and actually make some money, but he's setting the tone for everybody to, like, everybody behind him. He's saying, look, you don't have to go this one and done, this stupid, let's go get taken advantage of by these colleges if we're really not focused on getting an education. I mean, if you want an education, you want a backup plan, by all means, you should be playing college ball. Like, the fact that you're able to still play a game at that level while getting hooked up on the education, like, take advantage of it. But if you really don't care about that, I see no reason why these players should be playing college ball at all. And I love this move. I absolutely love this move. Heading over, what is it, New Zealand? Play for the Breakers? Like,
Look,
genius.
Let me tell you
absolutely
this about,
genius. What do you think?
Let me tell you about. I think it's very smart. Very smart because, yes, college athletes, the whole NCAA is just a mess, complete mess, from top to bottom. But what this tells me, though, what this indicates to me is that players' desire to actually play college basketball is eroding. Like, college sports is always going to be there. Like, it's always going to be there for a high school athlete. And some are going to enjoy it, like Zion. Zion could have been like, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
I got hurt. I'm done. I'm going to go prepare for the draft. Darius Garland, who I know because he's supposed to be a top 5 pick. The Lakers are looking at him with that 4th pick. He was a high school athlete. He went to Vanderbilt, played like 5 games, got hurt. He was done. Prepared for the NBA draft. So it's situational, really. But this guy says, you know what, I'm going to skip the whole thing. And the reason why is because he said his dream is not to play college basketball. That's not his dream.
Exactly.
His dream is to play in the NBA. And so this is a move that we haven't seen that much. We saw Emmanuel Mudiay do it some years back when he went to China instead of going to college. But he's going to get paid, first of all. And he said he's taking a lot of inspiration from Luka Doncic, who did not not go to college. Obviously, he was in Europe with Real Madrid and Eurobasket League. And we're not going to make comparisons. Like, R.J. Hampton is just another athlete, you know. He's a 4-star recruit, 5-star recruit, I don't know. But there's so many 5 stars, you know. There's so many players. Yeah. My question is this going to put him above everyone else? How different is the competition level in New Zealand and in college basketball? Because wherever he was going to go, it was going to go to an elite school. If he went to Kansas, he's going to play in the Big 12, which is an elite conference. If he went to Memphis, obviously a little downgrade, but still playing and practicing with some good recruits. So I think he's getting paid. I think it's smart because he's opening up pathways for the next generation, for the next athletes, for next year, you know.
Yeah.
So that helps, but other than that, is this going to help him personally? Because we saw what happened to Emmanuel Mudiay. He's, you know, a bench player in the league.
I think this says a lot about what he thinks about himself.
Oh.
I mean, I think just going to any college to play college ball, you're saying, you know what, I'm good, but I don't know if I'm that good. They're not willing to take that chance on themselves, where he's literally jumping into it saying, I'm going to take this chance on myself. I believe that I can go somewhere else and play at a level that is going to keep me in talks to be able to come to the NBA eventually.
Right.
But meanwhile, I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
So I like it. Like, it shows that he trusts himself. He knows.
He doesn't even have to worry about classes. He doesn't have to worry about grades. He doesn't have to worry about academics. It's all basketball now. Mm-hmm. That's something that he's going to have an advantage over all these other guys who are going to decide to go to college.
Exactly.
You know, much more time to dedicate to his craft. So I think that is a big part of it. Mm-hmm. Smart.
Very smart.
Very smart.
Very smart.
Let's move on to tweets of the day. You have 2, so I'll let you start, and then I'll go to me, and we'll end with you. So, what tweets do you have to share with us today?
All right. Well, I have to mention it. This tweet here is from SNYTV. It's I guess like home of New York sports or whatever on Twitter. They tweeted one single day after the anniversary of 50 Cent's infamous first pitch, we have a new champion.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, I know you saw it because I sent it to you. I sent it to you as well as our editor. I could not get over this pitch. I couldn't.
First pitch.
The ceremonial first pitch.
Yeah.
She steps on the mound, aims at home plate, and just completely hooks it right into the cameraman.
Yeah.
I mean, it hit the cameraman.
And the cameraman was way to the left, too. He was way to the left. And it just went, I don't know, there was some twitching. I don't know what happened, but...
It hit the lens on the camera, and it left a scuff on the ball.
If you haven't seen it, my favorite part of that video, though, is the guy who was supposed to catch the ball, his reaction to it.
He couldn't hold it back.
He was just like, what just happened? And that's how I felt when I watched it. I was like,
I couldn't.
What is this?
Yeah.
That was insane. And 50 Cent was bad. There's a real debate as to which one was worse, I think. Because 50 Cent was horrendous.
I would expect more from 50 Cent.
If you haven't seen either one of these, you have to watch it. I don't know if we could put it in the description box, but we'll put a link. We'll try to put a link down there.
We'll figure something out. You have to watch these.
They're horrendous.
Terrible.
Yeah, I saw that. Thanks for sharing that because that was insane. All right, so my tweet of the day. We didn't talk about the Dodgers today, so I'm going to mention it right now. John Heyman. We all know John Heyman, right? MLB Insider. MLB Insider. So he knows his things. John Heyman, at John Heyman. He said, I apologize to the Dodgers front office for ever suggesting that they should have considered trading Bellinger for Real Muto. And I applaud you for never listening to me. Hashtag sorry. Respect. That's major respect. And he's right. Never listening to him again.
I mean, I will give credit where it's due. Bellinger is doing amazing right now.
Imagine a Bellinger for Real Muto trade. That would have
But as a natural Dodger hater, I have to mention it's before the All-Star break. So I just want to see some consistency. But irregardless, what he has done up until this point, respect.
Okay.
See, you can't even argue that.
I mean,
you can't.
Let's just wait. Yeah. Okay, let's go to your second tweet.
All right. This next one, I kind of compiled it with another stat that I have. But MLB Stats tweeted, with 3 homers already tonight, Derek Dietrich now has 7 home runs and 14 RBIs in just 22 at-bats versus Pittsburgh this season. 7 home runs, 14 RBIs, in 22 at-bats.
That's pretty good, not going to lie.
That's amazing. And he hit 3 home runs in one single night.
Yeah, I did see that.
Now, I'm looking at this saying, this is amazing, but you know what it reminded me of? Gleyber Torres of the Yankees against Baltimore this season.
Oh.
In 2019, he is 20 for 41 with 10 home runs against them.
Did you see that video?
He's basically
the audio of the Baltimore's broadcasters.
Yes.
Oh,
yes, he could not stand it.
Again?
Yeah, there's no stopping him.
Oh my god.
Legitimately, if he makes it to the All-Star ballot, Baltimore is to thank. Hands down. That's it.
10 home runs against one single team.
Yeah.
10 home runs, and he's got 20 hits. Half of his hits against one team are home runs.
Yeah.
That'll do it. And that's why the Orioles are who the Orioles are.
But last time I've seen anything that substantial against the Orioles was Mookie Betts. I think it was a couple years ago, but he was just on fire. Whenever it was in like the Orioles park, you do it. But I mean, this is just.
Gleyber Torres is doing better. Not gonna lie.
Either way, 3 homers, one night. Derek Dietrich.
Yeah.
Good job.
The Reds need something to cheer for.
They do, man.
They're so bad.
Other than Puig licking his bat.
He hasn't done that yet. I'm surprised. He hasn't had much to do it for. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah. One interesting tidbit at the end.
Oh, this part?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That I threw down here. It didn't make its way back up, but
yeah, that's a good one.
Honestly, I like it. So Klay Thompson is taking questions, And someone asks him, you know, like regarding Drake, with how Drake's obviously involved with the
Toronto.
Raptors and Toronto, said, "Are you gonna skip Drake's songs? You know, like if it comes up on your playlist?"
Yeah.
Clay's like, "No, you know, I've been listening to him since high school. He's a good musician or artist, but I'll skip the bad songs. Like if it's a bad song, I'll skip it, and the slow ones because." And I'm gonna quote this part from Klay Thompson. He is in kill mode.
Mm-hmm.
Golden State wins.
Kind of how
Golden State
LeBron,
wins.
kind of how like LeBron was like, all right, well I'm going zero dark 30 mode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going playoff mode activated, and then they had a worse record the second half of the season. So that's what I'm expecting from.
Yeah,
Klay.
he even said, you know, if that Hotline Bling hits, skip.
You think Hotline Bling's a bad song?
Clay said that.
Clay said
that. If Hotline Bling comes
said
out, he's
Hotline
hitting
Bling
that
is a
skip.
bad song.
He's hitting skip. Well, it's a slow one. It's a slower jam.
Hotline Bling is not a slow song.
I mean, it's a little slower. It's not as hard as like some of the more hype songs that are out now.
Okay, so he's gonna skip like songs like that, like Hotline Bling ish, because that's not a bad. He said bad song.
As someone that is not a direct
That's a good
representative
song.
of Klay Thompson, I can't speak for him here.
Right, but he did say Hotline Bling.
But he did mention Hotline Bling, yes.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
He's in kill mode.
Yeah.
He ain't got no time for none of that heartbreak, this and that, and like, oh, remember you used to call? No, he doesn't have time for that.
That's true.
The only thing he's looking to call is his mom after and say, hey, I did it again. We won.
Hey mom, I'm going to the Lakers.
So I think you have another tweet now, right?
No, we're done. That's it for today. So today, we talked about Neymar losing captaincy, along with Tottenham and Liverpool, and a lot of other things soccer related in our soccer roundup. We talked about the NBA Finals and the Rockets maybe blowing up their team in the summer.
Potentially, yes.
Right.
A little bit on some NHL, as well as our smart, not smart, and tweets of the day.
It's been another good episode.
I think it's been great.
Check out our background. It's pretty cool, huh?
It's official.
Yeah. We have a calendar ready for all of our 3 events this month. But thanks for tuning in to another episode of On the Pitch. I am Emmanuel Palacios.
And I'm Travis Jepaway.